How do you take a neutral file or a CAD file from some other software, open it up, and make changes to it? Coming up. Hey, this is Tyler Beck. Today we're talking about direct editing in Autodesk Inventor. So today we're going to start by opening a step file. This was sent to me maybe by someone that was working in Solidworks, Pro, Fusion, whatever the CAD package was. They saved it out in a step file, which is a neutral file. I'll hit open, and then Inventor is going to want to convert this. So once it's bringing it in, I want to convert this. I don't want it to be a reference model, something we use for our AnyCAD technology, where I'm expecting people to send me updates of this file. I want to open this one and convert it. Let's change the appearance just to make it a little easier to see for the tutorial. Okay, so what are the challenges that you face when you bring in another CAD file format? The first one is there is not a history tree. I don't have sketches or extrudes or fillets or anything that I can edit. But you'd still like to be able to work with this file, make some changes. So what are the design changes that need to happen to this for us to move forward so that we don't have to start over? So some common scenarios, the first one being get rid of the emboss that was done by the branding. Let's get rid of that first. So all of this is going to take place on the direct modeling tool. Direct modeling is found on the 3D model toolbar. I'll hit direct. The toolbar pops up, and what I'd like to do is select the emboss and hit the delete feature on the direct modeling. I box select the emboss that's cut away. I'll have to hit the green plus in order to accept this selection. Once that's selected, it's going to try and go and remove all those faces, fill it back in, and it does a nice job of this. Another challenge that we're facing cleaning up this model is they sent along this nasty fillet. It's got a kind of a variable radius fillet. I'll hit escape. Got this kind of strange fillet, and then even two parts to it over here. I'm going to try to select all of that and remove it. Once I select everything, then when I hit the delete, hit apply, hopefully I'll be able to remove that fillet and fill it back in. It does a nice job of that. Next, if you'd like to reapply that fillet, we can simply come back in the 3D model and apply that fillet. If I do, I might notice that if I want to do the entire loop, it might be tricky with that emboss still in there, that little cutout. We can still run a 1mm fillet, but maybe that's not clean enough for me. Maybe I don't like it. So before we do that, let's actually remove that little cutout channel. We use direct modeling. Box select the three faces there. Find the delete. Hit apply. It's going to try to, again, remove those faces and fill that back in. It does a nice job of that. And now if we were to apply a fillet, the cool thing is, if we are doing a loop, 1mm, we are doing a loop, 1mm, all the way around, looks great. I've set my color for the entirety of the part to be in gray, so we can see any new features in that color. The cool thing is this fillet now exists as a feature in the feature tree. And what does that mean? That means that you can edit. Go back to the feature, find the value, change what's selected. You're building a new tree on top of this step file of things that you can edit. Some of the other engineering changes that have to happen to this part, maybe for example, we need to drop this recess a little bit. We'll use our direct editing, select the face, we'll go to move, and I've got a triad where I can drag this I can drag this with my mouse, or I can even select a value and fill it in. Once I hit apply, it's going to drop that recess. This hole is not in the right place. Realign that. I'd like to stretch this face a little bit by 5mm. Put in 5mm, hit OK. What about the size of this interior hole? Maybe we want to change the offset of this hole. Select the face, go to the sizing. We can bring it in, or we can enlarge the hole by a value, hit apply. We've got a new offset hole applied. Now, to finally get a little bit fancier, what we'd like to do is change the support style in the back. I'd like to get rid of one of those supports, or at least just have one right in the center. So a couple options: I could come in and sketch and cut those faces away, or I can actually still use the direct editing. Okay, so let's try by deleting these faces. I'll select them. Select the faces, hit delete, apply. It removes those faces. Terrific. And now the challenge, I'd like to rotate this entire body over to be kind of centralized. Let's do that now. Let's go to the rotate command. Start by selecting these faces. It does have kind of a select through functionality that happens. As I hover my mouse, I notice that the cursor will select kind of these opposite sides without me having to rotate the model. Okay, one of the gotchas here, one of the things that seems to hang me up, is how do we rotate this in relation to something else? There's this locate functionality. Now when I click on that, if I come up here and select the top edge, it's going to rotate that about that top edge in relation to, it's not perfectly centered. So it might twist the model a little bit. So I'm going to be careful. I'm going to locate. I'm going to try to use this entire centralized circular face for my rotation tool. Come over, select the rotation tool. Snap it into place, hit OK, accept, and apply. And it looks like the fillets have solved correctly. If I inspect those areas, that looks good. So that's a few tips on using the direct editing tool within Inventor. I hope that's helpful. Let me know if you have any questions down below. Don't forget to subscribe.